So you want to be useful as a broken, wounded person. You want to have purpose, right? Well, first of all, you've got to empty yourself of what's inside of you. You ever went into the kitchen and wanted a cup of juice? Let's just say you had one cup left that was usable, and in that cup there was water. Do you pour your juice on top of that water, or do you pour the water out of the cup first? I know that's a retarded question, right? But in reality, many of us as broken, wounded people want to be useful, want to have purpose, but we are still filled with so many of the wounds and the brokenness of our youth. We're filled with the wounds and the brokenness of yesterday. Therefore, we cannot be filled today. We grab our cup, the cup being the body, the person, and we present it for use. But it can't be used because it is filled to capacity with drama. It is filled to capacity with pain, suffering. It's still filled to capacity with addictions that we are still actively engaged in. It's still filled to capacity with the wrong mentality, thinking the worst of every situation and thinking the worst about ourselves. That cup ourselves is filled with the wrong stuff. So what's the answer? Well, in the scenario, the example that I'm giving about the cup, you take the cup and you run it over to the sink and you pour it out. You pour the water out of the cup. You must empty it of its, you must empty it of what is inside of it in order for it to be filled with what you want to fill it up with. Many of us have not come to empty ourselves at the sink of life. We're bottling up all these things. And that's why these things haunt us to this day. The abuse, the mistreatment, the addiction. And let's get specific. The porn addiction, the cigarettes, the crack, the cocaine, the food addictions, the movie addictions, the masturbation. We're filled to the brim with these things. And we see that we have gifts. We see that we have opportunity to be used. But every time we've tried in the past, we've been derailed because we're still filled up with the other stuff. The sink that we must pour ourselves out of or into consists of self-reflection, and it consists of a honest, brutal truth with oneself, identifying the issues, being man or woman enough to consider what the issues are, going over your life with a fine-tooth comb, and then saying, you know what? Now I'm going to find a list of things I can fill myself with that I can freely indulge with no consequence, no negative consequence. Because as a broken, wounded man or woman, you are useful. You are useful. Remember, I told you in other episodes that God, your higher power and mine, wants to use your brokenness, wants to use your story. But he can't fully use us until we are emptied of the pain, the suffering, the prejudice, the despair. And it's that simple. It's not rocket science. It doesn't require a PhD or some certificate behind our name to finally be used by our higher power in a greater way. What it requires is a simple self-assessment, identifying the skeletons that are in our closet, bringing them to the surface and dealing with them, acknowledging them, emptying out our cup.